Today I'm going to show you how to use the buttonhole feature on your sewing machine. If you're not sure if your sewing machine is capable of doing a buttonhole, look at your stitches. If you have these rectangular and sort of oblong shapes here, then your machine is capable of doing a buttonhole. If your machine is capable of doing a buttonhole, it probably would have come with a buttonhole presser foot. Little bit of anatomy about this presser foot. This is the front. This will be facing you when you put it on there. It's got this little part here that goes back and forth. This allows it to do the buttonhole without you having to move your fabric or anything for that matter. You can see the lines here show you where it's going to start. Those green lines show you that will be the bottom of your buttonhole, and it moves all the way up and all the way back down. Those little red crosshairs are where it's going to start. This little metal part is obviously where it attaches to your machine. I'll show you that in a second. It's got these two plastic bits that stick up here. Yours may be metal, but mine's plastic. And this helps you to determine, or it tells your machine how big the button is. So you put a button in here, and I have just this little black button, which is not going to cooperate. Just this little black button here. If I put that button in here and I press this down, you can see there's my black button, and I put it on this end part and I push this down, and that's going to hold that on here. Now what that did is it just moved these two plastic pieces together. When you are doing your buttonhole, you're going to lower this down here. You can see it's got a picture of a buttonhole, and that is going to be, this little tip here is going to be in between those two plastic parts, and that's going to determine how big your buttonhole is. So if you're using a much smaller button, those two plastic pieces, these two plastic pieces will be really close together. And if you're using a bigger button, they'll be a little bit farther apart, and that's going to determine how big your buttonhole will be. So I'm just going to put my black button on there and tighten it up. Now I need to take off my other presser foot, and I've just got this little black release thing down here. Take that away, and I'm going to put on my new presser foot. And stand up my camera so that it's out of the way. So I just put my presser foot down, and that puts it on. And I'm just going to work with this little scrap piece of fabric here. And I lower my buttonhole thing, and I set my machine. I'm using 31 because I think that one's pretty. So I'm going to use that, and that's it. I'm just going to go. Just hit the gas pedal. I'm not even going to hold it. The machine is going to do all of the work. And when it's done, I didn't slow it down, the machine slowed it down itself. When it's done, it tells you. Lift up your presser foot, lift up your needle. Now you're going to need you can, kind of hard to see, but you can see there's my little buttonhole. And now you're going to need a seam ripper. I use this thing all the time. If you don't have one of these, get one, because They're pretty amazing. So I'm just going to go at the end of this buttonhole. I'm going to stick my seam ripper in there and very carefully rip to the other end of the buttonhole. And now I have this buttonhole. And it's nice and secure, and this isn't going to fray or anything like that. It'll hold up to multiple washings and all of that. Pretty easy, huh?